Is the state of Israel only for the Jews? That is a question we're going to explore this week. In this week's Torah reading, we talked about the priesthood, the garments of the priesthood. Two particular garments in particular we addressed was the ephod and the breastplate. On the ephod, the priest is told to inscribe or to have inscribed the names of the children of Israel, 6 on one side, 6 on the other side. And then on the breastplate that he is supposed to wear, he is supposed to have 12 stones, 1 stone for each of the 12 tribes of Israel. And in so doing, the priest is told to come before God and present the children of Israel, all 12, before him. And so this week we're going to look at the priesthood, and we're going to look at what is represented in this week's Torah reading with the representation of the priests of the 12 tribes of Israel. And we're going to look at the implication of the priest bearing witness before God of the 12 tribes and what it means for us today and what it means for us in the future.
O daughters of Zion, O Abraham's sons, hear the words of your father, hear his promise of love. I will make you a blessing, so count the stars if you can. You will be a great nation. I will give you this land.
Exodus 28, 9 through 10 reads, Then you shall take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel. 6 of their names on 1 stone, and 6 names on the other stone, in the order of their birth. Verse 11 also reads, With the work of an engraver in stone, like the engraving of a signet, you shall engrave the 2 stones with the names of the sons of Israel. You shall set them in settings of gold. Verse 12 reads, And you shall put the 2 stones on the shoulders of the ephod as memorial stones for the sons of Israel. So Aaron shall bear their names before the Lord on his shoulders as a memorial. So here we see that Aaron is asked to come before God, not just for 1 tribe, not just for 2 tribes, not just for his tribe, the tribe of Levi, but for all 12 tribes. And we see this point reiterated again when looking at the breastplate. So Exodus 28, verses 15 through 21 goes in detail, and it describes the breastplate, the color of the stones, and that each stone is to represent one of the 12 tribes of Israel. And so Exodus 28 and 29 reads, So Aaron shall bear the names of the sons of Israel on the breastplate of judgment over his heart when he goes into the holy place as a memorial before the Lord continually. So we see that this is a memorial where Aaron continues to go and offers on behalf of the children of Israel. And we understand that Exodus 29:9 says this priesthood is a priesthood that is perpetual, meaning that when Aaron is no longer the priest, his sons will be the priests, and his lineal descendants, who are from the priesthood, today regarded as Cohen, is to continue this tradition. Now, presently, that is not an issue because the temple is no longer standing. But in the future, when the temple is rebuilt, this is a perpetual covenant, the priesthood of Aaron, and so will be the ordinance to present the 12 sons of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, before God. So as you can see, the 12 tribes are an integral part of the priesthood and the identity of the nation of Israel as a whole. the priest would have been remiss to come before God with just 1 or 2 tribes, or say maybe even 6 of the 12 tribes. It would have been an absolute outcry and a mockery to not represent all 12 tribes before God. So let's look now and see what the book of Revelation says about the 12 tribes. When we look at Revelation 7, verses 4 through 8, we talk about that verse discusses the 12 tribes being sealed. I'll read for you. And I heard the number of those who were sealed. 144,000 of the tribes of the children of Israel were sealed. Of the tribe of Judah, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Gad, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Asher, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Simeon, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Levi, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Issachar, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Zebulun, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Joseph, 12,000 were sealed. Of the tribe of Benjamin, 12,000 were sealed. So we see from the priesthood, in making offering before God, all 12 tribes are represented. We see at the end of time, in the book of Revelation, again, all 12 tribes are represented. We see further at the end of the book of Revelation in chapter 21, when it describes the 12 gates, the 12 great gates represents the 12 tribes of Israel. And that would be seen in Revelation 21, verses 9 through 12 and verses 19 through 20. So let's look at the backstory. And let's explore the idea that was first presented. Is the land of Israel only for Jews? Let's look at the backstory, a kingdom divided. When we look at the history of the nation of Israel, Saul was their king, the first king of Israel. Israel was a nation formed out of the lineal descendants of Abraham through Isaac and then Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons. The 12 sons of Jacob became the 12 tribes of Israel, but with one notation, that Joseph was replaced by his sons Ephraim and Manasseh, who were adopted by Jacob. And so we get the 12 sons because Isaac originally had 11 sons and a daughter, Dinah, and Joseph was given 2 positions through his sons Ephraim and Manasseh. And so Jacob, who was renamed Israel, had the 12 sons because he adopted Ephraim and Manasseh, and they became the 12 tribes of Israel. Now, Saul served as Israel's first king, and Israel was a united nation with the 12 tribes. David served as the second king, and Israel continued to be a united nation. Under King Solomon, Israel was also a united nation. However, after King Solomon died, the nation split into 2 kingdoms, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom split into 10 tribes. The southern kingdom split into 2 tribes. The northern kingdom was called Israel. The southern kingdom was called Judah. The northern kingdom, Israel, is also known as Ephraim at times because Ephraim was the dominant tribe. In much the same way, the southern kingdom is called Judah because Judah there was the dominant tribe. Both kingdoms were sent into exile. The northern kingdom first was sent into exile by the Assyrians, and the southern kingdom was then sent into exile by the Babylonians. However, the exile of the southern kingdom was only 70 years, and after 70 years, they returned to the land, and we can see this in the book of Ezra and Nehemiah. And so during the time of Yeshua, we actually only had the southern kingdom present in the land, hence the name Judea, taken from the word Judah. And so it's interesting that at the days of Pentecost, that they spoke in tongues, and when they spoke in tongues, Jews from the surrounding area could understand in their own language. Why was that? Because at this time, the 10 kingdoms were still scattered. living in foreign lands and had come back for the Feast of Pentecost, which is really the Feast of Shavuot, because Shavuot was a pilgrim feast that required everybody to be in the land. So they had come back for the pilgrim feast from these faraway lands. And on the day of Pentecost, when they spoke in tongues, they spoke in the language of those tribes and the places where they were now living. But in the land of Judea, it was mostly people from the tribe of Judah, some Benjamin, and Levi, the priesthood, because they were scattered throughout the nation. So in exploring Israel, and when we speak today of the land of Israel, all you see present in the land of Israel are really Jews, the southern kingdom. And so when we hear this idea of, in the Christian church, about bringing the Jews back to the land of Israel, that reference speaks only to the southern kingdom, those two tribes. When we see the state of Israel and the rabbis of Israel who makes laws as to who should be considered part of Israel and who shouldn't, much of that deals with mostly Jews, Judah. So the question is then, if Israel once consisted of 12 tribes, God ordained a priest to present 12 tribes. When we look in the book of Revelations, there are 12 tribes present. Then the question is, why aren't there the desire and the need to restore the 12 tribes to the land of Israel? Let me read to you what God desires and what God predicts and what will be reality in the land of Israel. I'm reading from Ezekiel 37, verses 15 through 23. Again, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, take a stick for yourself and write on it, for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Take another stick and write of it, for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, for all the house of Israel, his companions. Then join them one to another for yourself into one stick, and they will become one in your hand. And when the children of your people speak to you, saying, Will you not show us what you mean by these? Say to them, Thus says the Lord God, surely I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his companions, and I will join it with them, the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they will be one in my hand. And the sticks on which you write will be in your hand before their eyes. Then say to them, Thus says the Lord God, surely I will take the children of Israel from among the nations where they have gone, and I will gather them from every side and bring them into their own land. I will make them one nation in the land and on the mountains of Israel, and one king will be king over them all. And they shall no longer be two nations, nor shall they ever be divided into two kingdoms again. They shall not defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions, but I will deliver them from all their dwelling places in which they have sinned. And I will cleanse them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God. So in conclusion, the state of Israel today comprises mainly of the southern kingdom, Judah, which only represented 1/5, 2 of the 12 tribes of Israel. The question then should be, where are the other 10 tribes? Who are these people? And do we know where they are? Well, in fact, there are still 12 tribes, because we know that they will be regathered, and the future of the 12 tribes is seen in Revelation. We know today, for instance, that Igbos, who hail from Africa, the Bight of Biafra, represents approximately 30 to 40 million of these 12 tribes. We also know that Israel is aware that these people are lineal descendants of Israel and have maintained the traditions of the Torah and are self-identifying as Israelites. In fact, in the Biafran War in 1967, Henry Kissinger regarded them, Secretary of State at the time, as the Jews of Africa. Europe, during the, 16th or 17th century, after the writings and acquaintance with Aluda Equiana, sent missionaries to study the Igbos in Africa, in Nigeria, and discovered that in fact there were Torah keepers and maintained the traditions of Israelites. We also know that the members of South Africa and in Zimbabwe, through DNA testing, have Aaron's markings among their population, and they too will tell you that they are linear descendants of Israel and have been maintaining the traditions of their forefathers. We also know of the Ethiopian Jews, some of which have been brought to the land of Israel, but some of which remain in the land of Israel. But I raise this point because if we are waiting for the Messiah to return, and we understand that the return of Messiah is tied into the prophecies being fulfilled regarding Israel and the 12 tribes of Israel, and we know that there are 12 tribes, are we to dismiss and disregard the 10 or the 9.5? It's debatable whether it's 9.5 or 10, but the northern kingdom that is still at bay. Should we not, with fervence, seek out and restore all of Israel to the land of Israel, realizing that Israel is not only for the Jews, it's for all of Israel, all 12 tribes, all of Jacob's sons. Shalom.